and today we're making shrimp sushi.
Because of quarantine, we were not able to go out and eat, so we decided to try and make one of our favorite things, sushi.
So, before we get on with this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to comment down below. So first we have rice.
So this is the rice. We're using Rhee Chun brand, and this is specifically Sushi Rice.
And we also have our vegetables, which are avocado, carrot,
And cucumber.
we'll be putting these in the sushi. We also have a lime, which we'll be using to make spicy mayo for the sushi.
And in the spicy mayo, we'll also need Sriracha and mayonnaise.
So for the rice vinegar mix, we have rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. And we also have a bamboo mat wrapped in saran wrap, as you guys can see. And we also have nori, and we have pickled ginger, wasabi, and soy sauce as our other toppings.
And we also have a lot of measuring supplies.
And we also have a bowl of cold water. And now we have to rinse the rice. Add water to the rice and scrub the rice until the water runs clear.
Add 2.5 cups of water to a pot. Put the pot on the stove and wait for it to boil.
Once the water is boiling, add the rice. Once all the rice is in the pot, stir the rice and then cover for 20 minutes to cook. So I'm going to now stir the rice, and you only need to stir like a little bit. And then cover the pot and wait for 20 minutes for the rice to cook. While we're waiting for the rice to cook, we can prepare the rice vinegar. So we want to add 1/2 of a cup of rice vinegar. And then we want to add 1/4 cup of sugar. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Then stir until the sugar and salt is dissolved.
So now our rice is done cooking, so we're gonna go ahead and turn the stove off.
And we are going to wait 5 minutes for the rice to cool down.
So now as you can see, our rice is done. And we're just going to transfer it into a bowl so we can mix it with the rice vinegar mix. So now we're going to take our rice vinegar and pour it. And now we're just going to gently fold because we don't want to mush the rice, otherwise the sushi won't have any texture from the rice. Rice with a wet paper towel. You can also use a wet dish towel if you want. And now we're going to set this aside until the vegetables are done. So now we have made the rice vinegar, and it's time to cut the vegetables. I'll start by cutting the avocado,
And I'm going to peel the carrot. So now I'm going to cut the carrot. So when we are cutting vegetables for sushi, we want them to be somewhat long and very thin because when we stuff it, we don't want it to be very big as it will take up a lot of space in the sushi roll. So I'm just going to be cutting it into these little pieces right now. So this is what you want a carrot to look like. It's very thin and it's around like the size of my finger, as you guys can see. So now I just need to finish cutting up the carrots. Okay, so now I have finished cutting the carrots and I'm just going to transfer them to this little bowl for later. And I'll just keep this aside.
So now, as you can see, we've cut off the ends of a cucumber. We're not using a normal big cucumber, we're using mini ones. So I'm just gonna cut this in half to get around a similar size of the carrots. And then we're going to cut it down. And then take that piece and cut it. So now, as you can see, I'm done cutting the cucumbers. They are around the same size as the carrots, as you can see. Now I'm just going to transfer these into a small bowl and set it aside until we assemble the sushi. So now we have the avocado and I'm going to score it. I'm using a butter knife. So we're going to cut a line and then scoop it out. I finished scoring our avocado. It is a little bigger, but that'll be fine. I'm just gonna move it to this plate. So now I am done moving our avocado to the plate, and I can set it aside just before we start assembling.
So I'm just going to pour the olive oil into the pan until it covers the bottom. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. And I'll turn the heat on and wait till the oil gets hot to put the shrimp in. See, the olive oil is hot, so I'm going to start adding our shrimp. It should sizzle really nice, like when you add it. So as you can see, you can start the bottoms of it becoming orange. So we can try and flip this shrimp. So that's what it should look like at the top. So I'm just going to flip all of these things. So we're going to let it cook on the other side as well. And once both sides are cooked, we can transfer it to a plate. So now, as you can see, the shrimp is with a pretty orange color. So I'm just going to take it one by one and transfer it to this plate. So now I'm going to cut the shrimp with the butter knife. So this is how I cut it. I cut it in half like this, and then I cut it lengthwise. And you can just keep doing that. Okay, so now I have finished cutting the shrimp, so I'm just going to transfer it to the plate. And now we are ready to assemble our sushi. So now we're going to assemble the sushi. So I have my bamboo mat here and it is wrapped in saran wrap, and I'm going to put it up with the greener side facing up. And now I have my nori, which there's a shiny side and there's a rough side. So this is the shiny side and this is the rough side. So we want to put the shiny side down. And here I have my fillings next to me, and I also have my rice, and I have a bowl of cold water to dip my hands in to remove the stickiness of the rice. And I also have a very sharp knife with me to cut the sushi, and a wet paper towel to wipe the knife in between every cut to make sure that there is no sticky residue on the knife. So now I'm going to first add some rice on top of the mat. So when you are putting the rice on the sushi roll, you want to be careful to not mush it, as we don't want to lose the rice's texture. And also you want to leave a gap of space so that when you roll the sushi, it doesn't get overstuffed. So I'm just very carefully spreading out the rice.
And the gap, be sure to leave around an inch.
Yes, so like around from here to here. So I'm gonna get some more rice. So you wanna be sure to not add too much rice because we never want to overstuff our roll. So now I have finished putting the rice on the nori, and I'm going to start adding the fillings. So before I add the shrimp, I always start with the vegetables. So we want to put it an inch away so we have space to roll. Also, we want to make sure not to add too much because we don't want to overstuff the sushi.
And here's the avocado.
And if you are vegetarian and don't eat shrimp, you can make the sushi without the shrimp. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the shrimp, and I usually add like around 3 pieces.
One on the left, one on the middle, and one on the right.
But this time I'll just add one more because the pieces I took are a little small. Okay, so now I'm going to start rolling my sushi. So I'm going to take the edge of the bamboo mat, and I'm going to hold my fillings in place and just roll it like so. Now I'm just going to squish the sushi into place like this. And we want to remember to be gentle because we don't want to squish our sushi too much. So I'm going to just keep rolling.
And be sure to keep on holding it to make sure your sushi won't come undone. Okay, so now we're done rolling up our sushi and we can cut it.
Okay, so now we are going to cut our sushi. So we have our sharp knife, our sushi roll, and a wet paper towel. So I'm just going to cut off these edges here so that the overall sushi has a very crisp look. So now I've finished cutting off the edges, and I'm just going to wipe our knife to make sure that there is no sticky residue.
And also so that your knife will you'll give it a cleaner cut.
So now I'm going to cut the sushi roll into 8 pieces. So I just start by cutting it in half, and then I cut this piece in half, and then I cut it in half again. So I'm just going to gently cut the sushi in half.
And now we must wipe the knife.
So now I'm going to cut it in half again. Just gently, and then just making sure to wipe the knife. So now you can just keep on cutting.
So now that our sushi is all cut, it is ready to plate. Now, so to show off toppings, the fillings, we are going to place it. I like to place it diagonally so we can see every single sushi. And then you're going to put 4 in the back.
So now we are going to make the spicy mayo. For spicy mayo, you need mayonnaise, and you need Sriracha, and you need a lime. I usually use half of a lime. So now that we have the ingredients, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm gonna squeeze the lime juice into my bowl.
You can also use a lemon. Try and squeeze out as much as is coming.
So now it is time to add the mayonnaise. So we're just gonna add a little bit of mayonnaise. So now I'm going to add the Sriracha. So depending on how much spice you like in your spicy mayo, you can add to your preference. So I'm just going to add a little bit. So I like mine to be a deep orange color. So I'm just going to keep adding until it is like that. And you have to keep stirring. So this is the way I like my spicy mayo, but if you want to add more, you can, and if you want to add less, you can. So that's it for the spicy mayo. So now we have all of our condiments
And accompaniments.
So we have our spicy mayo, which we made earlier.
We have pickled ginger, also known as sushi ginger.
And we also have spicy wasabi and
And a two.
and of course we have soy sauce.
I'm going to start plating our condiments and accompaniments. So we have our spicy mayo. We have our pickled ginger. I'm not really a big fan of pickled ginger, but my sister really likes it. We have our wasabi, which I'm only gonna put a little bit because it's really spicy.
And we put our soy sauce in a separate bowl.
And now we're gonna try our sushi.
You ready?
Cheers! Well, please like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to comment down below if you guys are going to try this recipe.